Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Jean. Don't mind the beeping, it's just telling me it's ready. I have another viewer request here. I said in a couple videos ago that I do have quite a bit of viewer requests I'm trying to get through. Now that Christmas is over. Whew, that was busy time for me. Anyways, this one, you guys I'm sure have seen many of my Mod Podge videos. I've done Mod Podge on cards with napkins. I've done Mod Podge on ornaments with napkins. Let me see if I have an ornament later on. I have an ornament that has the sun catcher on. Here we go. I've Mod Podge, yeah, this one's a napkin. I've Mod Podge napkin onto the wood. I've Mod Podge napkins onto paper. Okay, what the question was on this one, if you can use a laminator. Yes, you can. Of course, not on your ornaments and stuff. You can. The reason I don't use it is it's slow. The iron takes me 2 seconds to do an iron. I will link my other videos in the description in this one. But if you don't have a little iron, a laminator will work. Now, I just have my mink one. I've had this for many, many years. I'm not even sure if they make it anymore. It was a gift from my daughter many, many moons ago. So I just use that. I usually set it on setting 5. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't take a lot of heat to reactivate your Mod Podge. Now, I already put Mod Podge on because you guys have seen it. I used the matte. You can use the gloss on the bottom. You can use whatever. I just use the plain old matte on the bottom because I don't want like no shine to come through because some of these napkins are white based, like we'll see on the one. So you might see, like if you accidentally use the glitter one, you might see the glitter through. But you might like that. You just experiment with your Mod Podge to see what kind of effect you get from your napkins. I just stick with the matte. Now, when I go over the top afterwards, I may use the gloss or I may use the glitter one. So just use this. So I already took, all you do is you Mod Podge a thin layer on. We did that I had a full tutorial, so I'm not going to Mod Podge here because it takes a few minutes to dry. So all you do, I cut my bases out. I Mod Podge on a whole bunch of bases. And you can leave these in your stash for quite some time. It's not going to hurt nothing. It doesn't like dry out or anything like that. You can leave them in your stash like this. Then when you want to do something, you can do something, okay? I'm going to quickly show you. We're not going to decorate them too much. We're going to decorate a little bit. But in my other video, we did a lot of decorating. So what we're going to do is we want to take the layers apart. And, you know, I just sit here. I don't feel like struggling all the time trying to get the layers apart. So some of them come apart easy, some aren't. I just throw some tape on there. Some scotch, regular scotch tape or washi tape, whatever you have. And just separate your little layers. Some of them have 3 layers. Look out for that. Did I say this was for Missy? Missy asked for this video. All right, keep these. You can use those in your craft room. Okay, now I am just going to cut one square out, and you can do that beforehand, whatever. Just cut one of the squares out. This one you can get, you know, 3 to 4 cards out depending on how much you use. Just keep that. Some of them you can only get 1 out. So then all I do is kind of take it and position it where I think I might like it. And I'm going to avoid this. This one has, you can kind of see like lacing around the edges. I'm going to avoid that on this one because I just want to get this big flower. And I think that's supposed to be out this way. I think it goes. So let's put this big flower kind of center on the bottom, I think, here. And we're just going to put that. Then I'm going to cut a little bit of the excess off before we send it through. Yeah, so I'll get my iron quick and I'll show you what iron I use. And that just takes seconds. This takes a little bit more time. Okay, once you get it lined the way you want, I think I'll go up just a little. And I'm using all A2 side bases. A2 bases. Okay, stick it between parchment paper. Make sure you don't wrinkle up your paper. Stick it between there. I think I shifted. No, I thought I shifted the napkin. Okay, just put it in there like that and send it through. Now let's move this on screen And you can see how long this takes. This is why I don't have patience. I do not have patience for this, guys. This is why I use my, you only have to go over the iron like maybe twice. Once is probably enough, but I always do it like twice. I just use my little Cricut one. You can get lots of mini irons off of Amazon. Just make sure it doesn't have the dimples on the bottom, because they could leave little marks on your napkin. Not always. I've tried it both ways, not always, but it could. So stick with a flat, smooth surface. So then I normally do the same thing. I put it at the highest level just because I'm not patient. And then I usually just go around the card, like I just go like up and down, and just make sure you go to edges like that, and that's, I'm usually done. Okay, that's why I like using the iron over the laminator, because it just takes a little bit longer. And sometimes, just sometimes, if it doesn't go through right, if something happens going through your laminator, it could wrinkle, but this one's perfect. Okay, move this, bring this one back over there, like the darker pink to go with that. And then we just cut our excess off. Nope, I'm not in the screen. I'm like want to dispose that over there, but just cut it off. No big deal. Now, usually my cards, I don't necessarily coat the top. You can coat the top if you want, because let's face it, guys. You know, most people open your card and throw it away, right? It's up to you how much you want to invest in it. Now, if you want it, like I usually don't. If you want it to be, it's a flat finish right now. But if you want like a glossy finish, go ahead and put it on. Here we did, let me see. I have, these are some of my ornaments. Here, I did the glossy Mod, or the glitter Mod Podge over the top. You can see the glitter specks through there. So that's the glitter over the top. And then this side, what you can kind of see, it's the shiny Mod Podge, the gloss Mod Podge. And then this one is tissue paper. I did not do any Mod Podge. You can use tissue paper on the cards. You can use fabric on the cards. You can use napkins on the cards. You can use just about anything. Now, what I haven't tried yet, but it does work on this ornament, is window clings. This is a window cling. Someone had asked me if window clings work, so I did this in the last video, and I will link the ornament ones in the description along with the card one. You can use window clings. I was most surprised about that, because I thought for sure, because window clings are like a vinyl, and yes, you heat vinyl for your shirts and all that stuff, but I wasn't sure what it was going to do because I've never done it, and it worked out fine. Just make sure you put the parchment paper over first and then iron it. I wasn't going to test my iron without the parchment paper. No, I'm not going to ruin these little Cricut ones. Aren't all that cheap, you know. So you can use just about any material you want on here. So I'm just going to leave it like that. We are not going to put anything over top, but like I said, you can do that. It's whatever you like. Most of the time, like I said, this goes through the mail just fine. And you know, most people are just tossing them, right? Okay, they're not going to toss it in front of your face, and they probably don't tell you they toss it, but you know they're probably tossing it. Okay, get the glue off my fingers so you guys don't see that. Okay, so then we just put it on a card base like that. Beautiful. And all I did for this one is I just, I had, how did I do that? Oh, I just cut out paper. I didn't run this through my Cricut or nothing. I cut out a piece of paper that was approximately 2 3/8. Doesn't really matter what size. I did it all based off of that first. And by 1 5/8, and then all I did was round my corners. And then this one I just stamped on it with one of my stamps and made it like a little smaller, you know, so that's your own guesswork. And then we'll put it on like this. And we'll just put it on. Try to be not too crooked. I like these napkins that are full. So let's just put it up here. Yeah, we want to keep that one covered, or we don't want to cover that one up too much. Let's like that. And there, just like that, you have a card from a napkin to that. Now, another thing, you can get napkins just about anywhere. You go to a grocery store, you can get them. If you have a party store in your neighborhood, in your town, you can get them at a party store. Amazon, I can link for these ones I used today. I got off Amazon because that was one of my most popular questions on the last one, is where I got the napkins. Most of the napkins have been in my stash for a long time. So this video I decided to use just off of Amazon, so you guys have something that you can get if you like these ones. Also, when you go to weddings or bridal showers or baby showers, there's usually decorative napkins. Take an extra one or two home with you. They won't mind. They won't even know, okay? That's how I built up my stash. The dollar stores have napkins. I found them, of course, at Targets and Walmarts, and my grocery store does have some. Anywhere I go, I even look at hardware stores. I just look everywhere. Anywhere I go, I look. Another good source is when you go to rummage sales. I have one time found like a whole bag of napkins. You know, you might be able to find them that way. So there's one quick. So let's do this one. It's not real glitter. Looks like glitter. I'm going to do a little different technique on this one. Isn't that cute, cute, cute? Okay. Let's cover that glue a little bit. Same thing, we are going to separate. I'm going to cut one off first, and then we'll separate it. I'm going to cut just a little extra just because don't matter. All right, that. Now let's get my tape here. So yeah, so if you don't have the iron, laminator works fine. Most see how easy that one came apart. You wouldn't have needed a tape on that one. That one just like fell right apart. Okay, so this one, take another card base. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on here, and I'm just gonna kind of center it. Now the peaks are gonna go over the card. Don't worry about that. But let me just get it centered, because we're gonna actually cut this one out after. Okay. Which I'm not going to take time to cut the whole thing out. You don't need to sit and watch me cut. I'm just cutting a little bit of the excess off, just so. And then we are going to put it in here, and we are going to kind of make sure. Like I said, if your parchment paper wrinkles as it's going through or anything, it could wrinkle your napkin. So there is your only risk when you're using a laminator. Okay. And now it doesn't matter which way you feed. Some laminators you might not be able to feed this way, you feed it this way, it doesn't really matter. I always like to put my folded end in first. Less chance of things getting caught in there and wrinkling. But it takes a few seconds to run through. And then I'll need this for the decorations on this one. This one I thought would make a really cute, like a kid's birthday party invitation or something like that. So we're still waiting. It's almost there. It's almost there. There we go. All right, see, and it's perfectly. That was just a napkin rip. So it stays on there quite well. We're not going to even use this napkin, but you can pull, like I can pull, I'll pull, because we're not going to use this when I have the sample made. So like I'm pulling, when I pull on this, it's actually leaving, like, it really didn't pull the napkin off. So now all we're going to do on this one is we're just going to cut it out along the gold, okay? Which I have done already, because you don't want to see me do that. So that's what I did here. I cut it out along there, so you can cut out your little designs. I was going to just cut Mickey and hand out, but I thought I'll just cut this whole part out. Now I didn't make an invitation one for this one, but you can turn this into a party invitation, baby shower invite. I thought this would be a really cute one for a baby shower invite. And the same thing, I would just put like just a little tag up here saying you're invited, and then inside, of course, you'd fill out all your information that you need and stuff like that. To decorate this one, I had these little they're little polymer clay things, and they're very, very thin, but we are just going to throw a few of them down. You know, just in a couple different spots. We can put one right on that one. And then we're just going to kind of put a couple in a couple different areas. So, like, go through your stash, see what you have. Get that. That one we'll put right on top of that heart. That heart's about the same size. We're just going to throw some down just to give a little dimension. Yeah, let's see. I think I had some down here, and I think we'll put one over here yet to, you know, kind of keep an odd number. Come on. And then in the middle of the bowl, I'm going to put a white one. I'll bring this up to you guys. It's just hard to hold up in the air to you guys and show you and do this. And I'll put a white one right in the middle of her bowl. Pink won't show that good, so we'll put a white one. And then you have that. That's a napkin, guys. These are napkins. And look at what that does. Okay. I have one more we'll do. This one I wanted to show you because this one is actually a foil one. You can see the gold foil on there. Yes, you can use the gold foil. They work just fine. Same thing we're going to do. Now, the only thing on these ones is, look, is most of your foil ones that you buy, you're only going to get one off of there. Now, sometimes when I get a foil one, it'll be one foil one, and it'll just be a plain picture with no foil, which is okay, but, you know, it's kind of a bummer. Just keep that in mind when you buy foil ones. You're most likely not going to have 4 different ones. So it's going to be a little bit more costly for when you're making cards and stuff. But I like the foil, and I thought I would show you guys that the foil takes just fine too. Let's cut this out. Now here's what I mean by sometimes they have I'm going to show you, bring it up a second. Okay. See how see-through our background is on this one. You know, it's a really light background, so if we were to hold it up, you're going to see what's underneath there. You may or may not see the glitter. Let me see, where's the glitter one again? I don't know if the glitter would show through there. Yeah, I don't think it would, but you can see any color that's behind there. So keep that in mind when you're using these, if you want to put it on a different color. I always put them on a white base. So whenever I laminate Mod Podge my napkins, I always put them on a white base. This one, we're going to get the Merry Christmas right along the bottom. And this napkin isn't very big, so we're going to be cutting this napkin down, this card down a little bit. Let's see if I got that somewhat straight. You know, with me, you just never know. Especially when I'm not wearing my glasses. You just don't know how it's going to turn out. Okay, so you put that in there. And we'll send it through. I almost sprinkled that one myself, guys. Just remember, any napkin will work. It doesn't matter if it's a thicker napkin. It doesn't matter. This is such an easy process. You know, in the past, I did the same thing probably most of you guys did. Put the wet Mod Podge down. Put the napkin on top. Here's what you're doing with a napkin. You're holding it above here. You accidentally lay it down, forget it. You got to start over. So it's hard to position on a wet Mod Podge background. I can't take credit for this. I've seen this technique, oh my God, probably 15 years ago at least. I'm not even sure where I seen it. I can't necessarily say I could have picked it up from one of the craft things. I'm not even sure where I seen this technique from. But I've been doing it ever since. So dry Mod Podge is so much easier to position your napkin or fabric or tissue paper or wrapping paper, anything. Try, even if it's something like that window cling that she wanted me to try. I tried it for her. It worked great. I will be using more window clings. Okay, so for this one, we're just going to cut the top off here. So we cut those little extra off, and then I already have one cut down. You can leave it. You can see the like white there. You could leave it, but not me. Okay? Okay. So I just cut it down a little bit. Just took off right where the napkin ended on both sides. Okay? So that's what I got here. Okay, you can see the foil. Nope, I'm not going to coat it again. Because if you coat the ones with foil on, you're going to take away that shine. So I never really coat my foil ones, because you just cover right up over that foil, and it dulls it out a little bit. So I'm going to back this one on some gold foil paper that I have. It helps bring out the gold itself. So we're going to back it on that, and then we are going to back it on our red. We're going to do red. I like red and gold together. What do you guys like? I know everybody likes this traditional. Of course, I didn't put my cap on, so let me put a pin in there. My glue gun sits upstairs. I don't use my glue gun too much down here. And right now I'm not using it because I do believe there's still out of stock. So I don't want to use certain things on air and you guys are wanting it. The glue press, not glue gun. The glue press, it stays upstairs, and I use that up in my upper craft room. I don't usually use it down here in the studio because I do most of my crafting upstairs, and down here is just basically where I do my taping. Okay, now you gotta remember, slippery when it's on foil, so be careful when you're pushing it down. So I will kind of hold it down here. And it takes a second to adhere to foil paper. We can turn this off now. You might be able to hear that in the background. Okay. And then we're going to glue that to the red base. And we want a little bit of the red to show. Some of our mess. And I would not even do any more decoration on this whatsoever. You could, but I think the card is just fine like that. You have some bling there, gold. You could add some other stuff, but I think this is more than good enough for a card. So there is our napkin cards using our laminator instead. And like I said, you can use any laminator. You can get some, really inexpensive ones. I think it's pronounced the Savinger, I think, is how you pronounce it. If I can find one on Amazon, I will link it for you guys. I know that's a really good one for this kind of process. It works for foil too. I've seen a lot of people use that one. I just have no need to buy another one when I have a perfectly good one still working here. And so that's why you don't need to spend this much. This one back in the day costed her quite a bit to get me this one. I kind of scolded her back then because she spent so much. But, she's my daughter. She's going to spend whatever she wants on me. So, and then I did this one. This was one of my test ones. So on this one, these are little sprinkles that you put inside shaker cards. So they're like little candy sprinkles. And I just added some on. So just kind of go. So then we got a cute little birthday one. So it's perfect just like that. This napkin, I don't think, I think this was from last year, so I don't think I can link this one. If I can, I will. But yeah, so this is just another, you can just find a card with wording, napkin with wording on, and there is your card. Perfect, perfect. I hope you guys like this, Missy. I hope this answered your questions about using a laminator. Works perfectly. Pretty much any material you can use for it. I do use fabric. When I have scraps of fabric, I'll use my scraps of fabric. And I never, ever Mod Podge over the top of fabric. Never. Don't do that. This stays on quite well. It is almost like, not necessarily embeds it, but it really adheres it to the Mod Podge. I mean, you're reactivating. This is basically a glue. You're reactivating that. Again, I use the mat pretty much for everything. All right, guys. You have any more requests? You want to see me do anything? Just leave them in the comments. I will get through to them as soon as I can. I have 2 or 3 more yet that I am working on requests, and I will get to them hopefully fast. All right, guys. Everyone take care, and I will see you in the next one.